Okay, so there's been a shakeup in the Polish government. There's no use hiding it. The coalition is in trouble. The ruling coalition, and by the ruling coalition I mean the civic platform and add-ons, because that is how it's treated. People think there's no duopoly in Poland, but that is a mistake. That is a mistake that is perpetuated because people think, oh, there are not just two parties in Poland. There's a bunch of parties, and they form coalitions. But no, actually, there are two main parties that count in Poland. One of them is Law and Justice, the party that has been in charge for the last 8 years till 2023. Law and Justice, the Conservative Party, which, creates a coalition with some add-ons. The coalition's name was the United Right. And then there's the Civic Platform, which also forms a coalition with the so-called add-on parties. Poland 2050, the Third Path, the Left, PSL, what have you. All of these are just considered add-ons onto the Civic Platform, and together the Civic Coalition, that is, they form that coalition. And that coalition in 2023 wrestled power away from the Law and Justice Party, that is the TLDR of affairs. But the problem is, that's right, there is a problem. There's a problem in the premise, okay? The ruling coalition has always been held together primarily by being anti-law and justice, okay? It formed as a means to get rid of law and justice. But at its core, it is a very diverse coalition. The left wing, the right wing, center right, center level, what have you? You've got it all there, okay? Which means that there's a lot of division within the coalition. Which means that the coalition is very delicate. It's very brittle. There's a lot of disagreement within the coalition. Because as you can imagine, if you have the left wing and the right wing within the same coalition, you're going to have a bit of friction with topics such as abortion, for example, or gay rights, gay marriage, gay adoption. It's not even the thing that's discussed really, but I'm giving it as an example. LGBT rights. These things are going to be contentious within a coalition that is technically speaking supposed to be a united front. But it's not. It's not. Many things, many laws, many bills that the coalition wanted to pass, or rather certain parties from within the coalition wanted to pass, have been pushed against within the coalition itself. The coalition promised to make the abortion laws more liberal. But again, there's been a pushback within the coalition itself on these abortion laws. And that is a problem. And now, in addition to all that friction within the coalition, the presidential election, as we all know, has been won not by the coalition candidate Trzaskowski, the president of Warsaw, but it has been won by the law and justice candidate Nawrocki. Nawrocki, who is a conservative historian, let's just say. And that is a problem because the president can veto bills, which is something that Ukrainian people really wanted Zelensky to do, to veto the latest bill. And the thing is that Nawrocki, who already, it seems, will be a far more aggressive president than the one that we have had for the last 4 years, will veto whatever he will be able to from the ruling coalition, which means that the coalition will be at an impasse. Technically speaking, the ruling coalition is governing in Poland, but all of its actions will be rendered useless if the president keeps vetoing any initiative that the coalition tries to push forward. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. And if the coalition cannot do anything, then it's basically paralyzed. And if a coalition is paralyzed, then the frictions within become even more pronounced. Okay? If we cannot do anything, then what is even the point of us? For example, and of course, the coalition holds a very brittle majority in the parliament, which is in itself a bit of an issue. The parliamentary majority that the coalition holds is not enough to overrule the presidential veto, which is also, as you can imagine, a problem for the coalition. And so there have been parts of the coalition, the parties within the coalition, they have had meetings with Law and Justice discussing creating a new government. That has happened. Some people from the coalition have had meetings with Law and Justice people saying, hey, maybe we should reshuffle things. Maybe we should be redoing things. Maybe we should have this technical government that would be able to achieve anything, because in this coalition we're not able to achieve anything. And of course, Donald Tusk, to get ahead of all this, to foster unity within the coalition, has done a whole reshuffling in the government. Some ministries have been combined into one, some have been done away with altogether. Seats have been given to different people from different branches of the coalition. And of course, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Radosław Sikorski, has been given a promotion, so to speak. He has become, in addition to being a Minister of Foreign Affairs, he is now the Deputy Prime Minister. So that is a step up in his political career. So things are a mess. Things are a mess in Poland. There is a real risk that Poland might once again slip into being ruled by the right wing. There's a risk that Poland might once again enter the path of doing away with its democracy, which has been very much the case during the tenure of Law and Justice, which is why all of the political opposition basically have united in 2023 to depose Law and Justice. But the problem with such coalitions is that they need to have goals that unite them beyond just beating the enemy. Okay, the enemy's beaten. What now? Oh, now it turns out that we actually don't agree on almost anything. So there's friction within our own group. Whoops. It's a problem. It's a big problem. And we actually, I don't know where it will lead. It is hard to say where this whole thing is leading. The entire coalition is now in a very brittle and, dare I say, delicate state. So there you go. I have given you TLDR news from Poland without reading a single word